Grow 'em Big with Steve Bartylla. Brought to you by Huntworth and these other fine sponsors.
One of the most effective ways, or heck, the most effective way of introducing new species and more diversity to your woodlot is through tree planting. Simply through tree planting, we can boost the amount of browse, we can boost the amount of protective cover, and we can boost the amount of mass and fruits that are produced on that property. The more we can diversify our property within reason, the better off. There's really three different ways, main ways of planting trees. One's from cuttings. Cuttings are nothing more than certain species where you can go ahead and cut a sprig off, stick it in the dirt, and it's going to go ahead and a percentage of them are going to root themselves and grow. That's super easy when you know where there's a stand of dogwoods, a stand of willows. The species that go ahead and propagate well from cuttings, assuming you have permission, just go in there and cut a bunch of sprigs about, a foot to 18 inches long. That's all you have to do. Then, what you do when you go to plant them, do not leave these things sit around in the sun for 3 weeks after you've harvested them. You want to go ahead and plant them relatively soon, within a week or so. Let them soak in some water, just like you would flowers that you'd buy for your significant other. Then, when you go to plant them, what you do is you go ahead and nip that end off again at an angle and scar the bark. Essentially scrape some bark off, put it in some rooting gel, stick it in the dirt. It's really that simple. But where you do it and what species makes all the difference in the world. Some species propagate extremely well. Willows, dogwoods. You go ahead and try that with an oak, you're probably going to be very disappointed. A very, very small percentage of them will work. You can do stuff like that, but it takes more work with some tree species than others. Another very common method is planting what is referred to as bare root trees. You can get these from just about every DNR and wildlife forestry department. They all have programs for planting trees, and you almost always get bare roots. It'll be a whole bunch of saplings together in a little bundle, and the roots are just down. The first thing you do when you get them is you separate them out. You make it so their roots are not all a tangled ball. Spread them out. Then soak them for a couple hours at least. Okay, 2 to 4 hours. You want to soak them in some water. You need to select good soils. Okay, when you have the soils that'll work, you go ahead, you put a spade in, you create just a little slit, you stick the tree in, and you cinch it in good. You want to make sure that you get rid of as many air pockets as you can. So what you do is you water, and then you water, and you water, and you water some more. The reason you're doing all that watering, sure, the trees, but you're trying to get the dirt to settle into those pockets, to get rid of those air pockets, because those air pockets will end up killing roots, and we want all those roots to work. The disadvantage of a bare root is it's going to take more time than the potted trees. The advantage of the bare roots is those roots go out like this, and it creates an extremely solid anchor, where those potted plants, they have a higher tendency to end up, when they get truly mature, to end up dying, tipping over, because it's in a ball, it doesn't spread out as much. Now, when you're planting those trees, you do go ahead and dig your hole 150% bigger than you have to. You try to spread out those roots a little bit, and then you pack it in really good with dirt. And again, you water and water and water and water some more to get rid of those air pockets. In every one of these cases, any one of those three plantings, you make sure that it's either being watered or it's getting a good rain once a week, all year long that first year. In that first year, you do not apply any fertilizer whatsoever. You can in subsequent springs, but not the first year. And lastly, protect these things. Okay, for one, on your individual, a tree mat is a really good thing on the individual trees planted. Okay, wrapping the tree itself with something so that the rodents and the rabbits don't sit there and ring it and kill it off just like that. fencing around the trees so the deer and the bear don't rub and destroy them. Okay, you protect those trees and we can go ahead and add cover, we can add food, and we can add all sorts of fruit and mass crops just like that over time by us instituting it today.
Final thoughts brought to you by Huntworth.
Tree plantings are extremely effective ways of introducing cover, browse, and fruits and mass crops. Some species you can use cuttings, others bare roots is the best way to go, and then if you really want to get it fast, potted plants. Think about where you're going to put it, make sure you match the soils, all that good stuff, and take care of them, and that is a great little trick for us to add things that our neighbors don't have.